We're going to find out what they're doing in game number 1. Tempo Mage does not strike me as Kaldi's deck, but you never know. Kaldi has a lot of respect and a lot of knowledge on these players. His time at the analyst desk has given him some insight into how to play these games.
And I was about to say we're going to see Freeze Mage from Kaldi because he was streaming it all morning this morning.
Well, I think it's a decent choice, but against Zalae, there's always the threat that he brings Warrior to the table, and I can tell you, this is not the matchup he's looking to face.
If it is Patron, then it's, not the end of the world, but you even see Shield Block in his deck here. Of course, Zalae just one step ahead.
He's just I don't know how he does it, man. He just, again, these little tiny things. Zalae's game is so much more subtle than everyone else's.
Do you really think Zalae wasn't watching his stream earlier this morning? I should have checked to see if he was in the viewers. There's no way he didn't have it up.
It's about a 0% chance. But Kaldi, I actually like this choice a lot, despite the fact that Zalae is so familiar with Warrior and will play it so often, because we just talked about high variance picks. If he doesn't run this into Warrior, he's looking like a great shot.
Yeah, this is a high variance pick because this deck is, in the matchups that it's good, they're nigh unwinnable for your opponent. But then, you have matchups like this that are really hard. And when he sees Shield Block, you're going to see a little bit of a grimace if Kaldi gives anything away.
Yeah, the big one for me here, again, is just going to be if Kaldi keeps his mindset right after this game. Just because you lost the first one doesn't mean you're out of it. So,
yeah, we're already, saying that he's out of it, and he can still win this game. We don't want to discount it. There's just a very small chance of it.
Yeah, I totally agree. If he puts together the right tools, suddenly you're looking at something very different.
Yeah, this is one of the most nightmare matchups in all of Hearthstone. This one is so lopsided. It's unbelievable.
Let me ask you this. You were watching him play. Did he have a Malakos in his list?
I don't think he did. I didn't see the entire list, but it looked like your traditional Freeze Mage list, and I mean like very traditional.
And that's the kind of player that Kaldi strikes me as. He's going to kind of play more in line, sort of the cookie cutter builds, so to speak, but he's not a cookie cutter player by any stretch of the means. This guy has a very wide range of classes that he can play.
I mean, there's a reason why, a lot of the best decks all have, almost the same, 29 to 30 cards because they're, tried and tested and people know they're good. And Kaldi, he's that kind of guy.
Yeah. I like the Blood Mage play here as well. He needs to dig for more card draw.
You need to have a good reason for him to change anything.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's a lot of that. It's a lot of that chess background that's happening there too. Not going to just make a decision because he feels something. He wants proof.
Zalae was a hell of a chess player himself.
I am very well aware. This guy's been a hell of an everything player.
Yeah.
That he's played so far. This guy could pick up Parcheesi and then just start winning games with it.
Yeah, just be world class within like a month. Yeah. Is there a competitive Parcheesi scene?
I'm sure somewhere there
Zalae probably knows, actually. He's like, yeah, I've been in it for a few years.
I was Player of the Year in 2008.
Come on, guys. How'd y'all not know?
Was actually a Magic Online Player of the Year.
Every time you tell me, the more I learn about Zalae, someone's like, yeah, he was a Magic Online Player of the Year, this year, and he's like a Parcheesi champion from 2007. It just doesn't even surprise me anymore. You're like, yeah, obviously the guy's great.
Parcheesi champion is unconfirmed, guys.
It's unconfirmed, yeah.
Don't quote us on that.
And this is something you see from Zalae quite often here. He gets aggressive with his decks as well.
No reason not to. Kaldi has to do something about this play. It's prior to a Flame Strike spot, so Blizzard even going to force him to take damage if he wants to coin it out here. He actually can't even coin it out. He had to coin last turn for the Blood Mage. But in this spot, Kaldi doesn't have a lot of strong answers.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? And Pyroblast just the greatest draw ever.
Well, you got to set Ice Block and then ping off this 5-1. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, he's going to have to slowly keep himself in this game. He needs to make sure that he can keep his life total as high as possible for a Flame Strike turn. And Zalae, he knows that that's coming, so what he's going to do here is he's going to try to get as much damage as he can and then try to finish him off with one big turn.
Yeah, I actually don't mind Slam Battle Rage here at all.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Just start digging in your deck a little more.
Gets the information on the secret first, wants to know if it's Ice Block.
Do you think anyone has more games with this deck over the last month or two than Zalae?
Not a chance.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I think it's an actual 0% chance.
Another thing I wanted to talk about, before this match is, some people might, take this game and be like, Zalae, he's pretty much locked for the playoffs. He might not give this matchup a whole lot of thought. He's like, he's going to go through the motions for the rest of the season. This is the kind of guy I would never expect that from. You see him consistently trying to finish every season on the ladder at #1. He wants to finish the season #1 here as well.
It's just not the kind of person he is.
Yeah, I mean, did you hear his interview? He's like, at 2 and 3, he's like, I loved my chances to win the whole tournament. How do you think I feel now that I've won 6 in a row?
So it's a big statement to be making. Kaldi, 10 cards in hand, but not really a ton of action to add behind this. It's just Frost Nova and Pain. He's looking to fill up his board and then Flame Strike it away. I actually kind of like this game plan, but do you need to fill up his board? How many more minions can he play that are going to be threatening?
Yeah, the only minion that you can't Flame Strike away here is Emperor Thaurissan. So, I mean, it's fine. Just, get a damage in, take some armor away.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty high likelihood that if Zalae had Emperor, he just would have played it last turn. So I think it's a pretty rock solid read that he doesn't have it.
That was a pretty good draw last year for Kaldi as well in that Frost Nova. That bought him a lot of extra time in this game.
Zalae holding onto his slams and holding onto his battle rages. This is a little bit curious.
Yeah, I think he just wants to have as much recovery as possible, and holding onto the slams, he might be able to have one gigantic turn with Frothing Berserker here, and he doesn't want to fall victim to overextending early in the game and running out of gas.
Yeah, so Kaldi continuing to chip away at this armor total and relying on this Frost Nova Doomsayer to get stuff done, but execute sitting right in Zalae's hand.
Yeah, I actually really like the way Zalae's been playing this game because honestly, the way it's going to work out, you're almost never going to win with your first push of Grim Patrons in this matchup unless their hand is just terrible. Like you're going to get Flame Strike at some point, or they're going to get some good Blizzard with a Blood Mage Thalnos to kill all of your minions. So he's just holding on to as much resources as he can here to make sure that he has enough game later in the game.
Yeah, that's just what he's trying to do here too. Force Kaldi to use a lot of tools to sustain himself and then punish him for it afterwards. Harrison Jones won't be punishing anything this game, but like the Include, Kaldi's been playing a lot more Grim Patron lately.
Kaldi's playing a lot of Grim Patron, and he's even been playing a lot of Warrior. Hunter as well lately too, so just a lot of classes of weapons in him. I fully expect to see a few things go to the museum in this matchup.
Extra card gets picked up for Zalae. I actually really like he's holding all these Whirlwinds too. Armor Smiths can be sort of a closer in this scenario.
Yeah, unless he feels forced over this turn or the next one to really start to push, which I wouldn't, be surprised to see Harrison Jones and maybe Deathspite. I really think he's just looking for Emperor Thorson to just cobble everything together and make it to where he can just have gigantic turn after gigantic turn.
Yeah, so we're going to continue to be patient. Armor understands that every single time he uses that hero power, it's just one more step that Kaldi has to take.
So Zalae actually has two win conditions here in this matchup. He could actually kill Kaldi, or he can just gain so much armor and control Kaldi just enough that Kaldi, it's going to be almost impossible for him to actually finish off Zalae. He doesn't have enough damage in some forms.
So this is a tricky turn.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's an easy one for Zalae, though. He just knows this deck so well.
That's sort of, that's a back and forth for him. It's easy for him in that he's familiar with navigating these kinds of scenarios and working through the best plays, but a lot of different directions that he could possibly take.
Yeah, that's what's going to make him better than most people is he figures out which direction he needs to go here and then implements his plan from there instead of just figuring out, oh, what's the best play this turn,
Yeah, the best play this turn is not always the best play in the game.
Yeah, well, these are both chess players. These guys have got their next couple of turns mapped out most of the time. We should just got him to play chess for this round. I have no idea how to call a chess match, by the way. No clue. Oh, the chess boxing? Have you seen that? It's great.
Of course I've seen it. That's like actually one of my favorites.
Yeah. I hope we get to, add that to PvP Live at some point.
Chess boxing league.
The next esport, you heard it here.
It's a big draw. It's been one of the fan favorites of Twitch for a long time.
Zalae's been getting in shape a lot lately, man. He's been in the gym, and he might be getting ready.
Blizzard from Kaldi, gonna help extend this, and yeah, I actually like the Fireball here. He has so much mana in his hand that he has to start getting stuff out of the way.
Yeah, because when he starts to go off with Archmage Antonitis, he can't just have his hand be entirely full. You can't ever burn specific cards, because then you can't win anymore.
Zalae, kind of running out of stuff to do. Looking for a big Frothing Berserker turn with Warsong Commander, but he does not have the right tools to do it right now. He's got one Warsong Commander and one Frothing Berserker. He needs an Emperor and the second Frothing.
If Kaldi keeps playing this game the way he is and picks up, a few more pieces, there's a good chance that he wins or gets himself in the game because Zalae doesn't have enough to push through both these secrets and have these gigantic turns back to back, and Kaldi can really punish him here. Zalae might run out of damage.
Certainly a possibility, but plenty of draw available to him. It's just a matter of if he draws right here, what can he add to the board that really changes it? He's actually going to play a tempo Frothing Berserker. So I think that Zalae is trying to keep Kaldi committing resources into minions here and then looking for the armor total to actually be the big difference in this game. I think he's holding on to these battle rages because he knows that this match is actually fairly likely to go to fatigue.
Yeah, it's very likely as well. But what he's doing here is he's daring Kaldi to kill it. He's like, yeah, do you want to Frostbolt, ping this? Do you want to Fireball this card? Because that's more damage you can't actually use against my life total here. And the longer the game goes, if it gets to fatigue, Zalae has to be a favorite in that spot.
A lot of damage available to him this turn. It looks like he's going to go for it.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to pop one of these, couple of these secrets here.
So there's step number one.
Okay, Kaldi's going to gain 8 here. Not often you see Mage have more armor than Warrior.
Well, post Pyroblast, it's a
Just a casual 10.
casual 10 damage.
All of it.
So, attack from the Gnomish Inventor.
Zalae doing one of his favorite things in the world, getting frothy.
It's getting really frothy too. I wonder if he uses the second Whirlwind here. Why would you?
And I'm going to be surprised if he battle rages at all in this game. I think there's a good chance, like you said, that his main plan is to never battle rage here. It looks like he is. Did I see a shoulder shrug from Zalae there? Like,
well, the sequencing is incorrect here. He leaves Kaldi at such a high life total with the Frothing Berserker, and he wanted it to be the other way around, but there was just, once he had started attacking, the rope was running down, he didn't have time to think through it, so he leaves Kaldi at 15, and suddenly this spot looking not so easy for Zalae.
And Kaldi does have to put up another ice block here this turn, though, and then take care of that Frothing Berserker, so about 5 of his mana is occupied here.
Another tough turn. Yep, like the Frostbolt, like the Blizzard, the fact that Zalae left him at such a high life total is going to allow him to play this kind of sequencing. Doesn't have to set the ice block this turn. He's at 15. So a rare misstep from Zalae actually opens up a bit of a window here for Kaldi. He's taking care of a Frothing Berserker. He's taking care of a Warsong Commander. Both patrons are gone.
Yeah, Zalae, he's going to run out of damage.
He's used 3 Whirlwinds now. Despite and 2 Whirlwinds are gone.
Yeah, you might see him battle rage here now since it's just for 1 card, trying to find the other Warsong Commander and then maybe try to get something going from there. But I kind of like the way that Kaldi's played this game.
He has to take his time. You know, the benefit of this is that Kaldi is at 5 cards, and Freeze Mage at this step of the way can oftentimes have a lot more than that. And he's also gotten a Blizzard. He's also gotten 2 Frost Novas. He's got a Doomsayer, and he's got a Flame Strike out of his hand. So, you know, he's still not out of this. Has plenty of time to still build a board position and keep pushing damage.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, Kaldi's going to kill him next turn or anything, you know?
Right.
There are some draws here that'd be pretty dangerous, though. That's one of them.
Yeah, that is certainly one of them. But I don't know if this is coming down this turn. I think he's got to.
He's got to find an Emperor before he can do this. If he finds Emperor here, it's going to be, I was going to say, it's going to be slammed into play real fast. But
sort of interesting. Kaldi looking to pull all of Zalae's damage away and then rely on this Archmage Antonidas a little bit later.
Yeah, don't mind this play from Kaldi at all. This buys him so many more turns of this ice block staying around, and then, you know, eventually he's going to be able to, hopefully for him, take over the game with Archmage Antonidas. Zalae almost out of damage.
Both players low on cards too. About 6 left in each deck.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Zalae armor up every turn for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's so interesting to watch him play because he hasn't even really considered these battle rages at any point in this game. He knows that fatigue is a realistic possibility.
Yeah, and with Kaldi, if he sets a secondary different secret here, I think there's a chance that Zalae just doesn't attack.
Yeah, freezes everywhere, but those 2 fireballs, not quite enough to get the job done. But again, Kaldi's position might be to try to play for fatigue this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get these 3 fireballs, and hopefully it'll be enough to carry him through fatigue because Zalae's going to be able to slam and execute here. I think there's a chance you won't see him attack for the rest of the game once the second secret gets.
You know what's funny is that Slam actually has to draw him a card, and that's working against the gameplay that he wants right now.
Yeah, that's another reason not to battle rage, because you just know you have to draw cards because some of your other cards don't have a choice. You know, you're playing Shield Block, or you're playing Slam and stuff, you have to draw these cards. All he needs to find is Alexstrasza.
Yeah, this looks like a potential hold on this Armorsmith and Unstable Ghoul, but again, given that Kaldi's used so much already, I wouldn't ever blame him for playing both of these.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen the second secret yet. You know, you haven't seen the Ice Barrier come into play, and you know, as of right now, you think you can still be able to attack, but you gotta wonder if he's gonna attack once the Ice Barrier comes into play. You don't want to give him 8 life.
Armor up and consider.
You know, we've seen some games like this season where you have the Warrior versus Mage decks where a lot of weird turns happen where there's, you know, no attacks happening, stuff isn't getting played on purpose. You know, you just see these guys armoring up because, you know, that's their plan.
So he's going to add everything to the board now.
This does give him, you know, some more armor play.
Both Ice Lances just used too. Tried to protect that Archmage, and you know, it's cost him quite a bit of damage. He got it back in fireballs, of course, but I don't feel like Fireballs is what he wants.
Yeah, I'll say easy Doomsayer here.
And Frostbolt face, why not?
Yeah, you gotta help protect the Doomsayer.
Kaldi actually looking poised to win this game.
Yeah, these 2 Fireballs are gonna help out quite a lot. He's still gotta, navigate fatigue. Zalae at a very high life total.
Worse on Commander, he doesn't have enough to kill this Doomsayer right now.
Yeah, this Doomsayer is gonna go off. You're gonna see Zalae. I wouldn't even attack, I don't think.
I think he's thinking about battle raging at this point. I mean, he can't just let the Doomsayer go off. That kills both of his armor smiths.
I mean, what else are you gonna do? You're gonna battle rage, and is it worth the card here in your deck? Because every extra turn of fatigue. I think he's doing a ton of math here.
Yep.
Is the thing.
That's exactly what he's doing. I mean, you could just see even counting to himself.
Yeah, it looks like he's counting actually. Yeah. I mean, both their decks down to just a few cards left. This game's gonna be close.
Gosh, what a tough spot to be in. And this is all because of that sequencing with the Frothing Berserker. If he attacks the Frothing Berserker first and sets Kaldi to like 3 or 4, this is a very different game.
Yeah, all of his weapons become lethal from there. Yeah, it's a lot harder for Kaldi to play in that turn. So yeah, Zalae's gonna have to look back at that turn and just know that might be where he gave this one away if he loses. I'm not surprised to see him attack a minion here, but doesn't matter.
He's not to do anything else. So Doomsayer clears this board. That Acolyte of Pain is not going anywhere, but this Mad Scientist, just 2 extra points of damage every single turn.
Yeah, a repeatable source of damage. You may see Zalae get a Warsaw Commander in play just to answer it. You might just because if he uses his weapon, it deals damage to him.
That guy's a bit late.
Now, do you use your weapon here because you want to get your Emperor into play and start attacking with it? But then if you start attacking, if you don't only get 1 attack out of it, it actually gives Kaldi 3 life.
Well,
this is a weird spot.
He knows that Kaldi's got 2 fireballs in his hand too. So
yeah, but if they're not pointed at your face, I mean, it's Kaldi's last forms of damage left. And can you race fatigue? Because Kaldi gets 1 extra turn because of Ice Barrier. Looks like Kaldi's doing some counting here as well. Probably trying to figure out if he needs to do any attacking to win.
This is another thing that you can do in this spot is like when the game gets this tight, don't just use your own turn to be counting everything. Use your opponent's time.
Yeah. Also, I mean, you get this 1.5 on your turn, and just because you don't have plays doesn't mean you have to end your turn. Use the 1.5 to do a lot of math.
Study the board position.
Get the calculator out.
Yeah. Wow, it's just so tough. Like you're running it into a fireball.
Yeah, you're running it into a fireball, but is that a bad thing?
It's not really a good or a bad thing. It's
hey man, it makes a Warsaw Commander only cost 2.
Wonderful. Not only Battle Rages only costs 1.
Yeah, that he's never gonna play.
Yep, Zalae. This is actually the first time in a long time I think I've seen Zalae look comfortable. Finally, Alexstrasza shows up.
Yep, that's probably gonna seal it for Kaldi. It's a very good possibility. I don't know. I mean, these armor ups are going to be pretty big over the next couple turns.
Ice Block doesn't pop in your own turn. So is there even any reason to play these cards?
I mean, maybe you need to attack the Alexstrasza.
He's trying to get the other fireball out, is what he's trying to do. Kaldi completely out of cards at this point. Emperor's the last card.
Yeah, he needed that so much sooner. Now, he can hold on to Alexstrasza to maybe buy himself more turns here in fatigue. And Kaldi, knowing what's left in Zalae's deck, knows that this Emperor is going to get to sit around.
Yep, Interrage is the last card. Zalae has no tools left. He actually cannot kill this Emperor. This Emperor is going to be the big... This is the breaker in the game.
Kaldi's last card in his deck is going to do a ton of damage here. And you got to believe there's a chance he holds onto this Alexstrasza.
No, I don't think there is. He knows... I mean, if he's been counting right, he knows that Zalae's cards are Battle Rage and Battle Rage. He just runs over this here, plays the Alexstrasza, can even play the Acolyte of Pain. Just get any amount of damage you can on board.
Yeah, I meant doesn't hold on the Alexstrasza. I misspoke there.
Yeah, I was like, I think there's about a 0% chance this is getting held on to. Upstairs.
I meant that he's going to hold on to the Acolyte of Pain.
Wow.
I just read the wrong card.
What a game from Kaldi. A rare misstep from Zalae, and it cost him this game, not sequencing properly on Frothing Berserker.
Yeah, after all those nice words about him.
But this is the kind of positions that players will sometimes get into, is when you find yourself in this spot and you don't have the amount of time to think through your entire turn because you have to finish through animations. This is a deck you have to have practiced many, 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 many times. And again, Zalae has probably played this more than quite literally everybody in the world, and you're still seeing him get into some spots where he goes, you know what, didn't necessarily think of that.
Well, I mean, you have to go through all the animations, and if you don't know what number they're going to edit, or you just kind of, I mean, he had to sequence about 17 things correctly that turn, and he missed step like 9.
You know what? I like to see Zalae not concede here. Just hold on. Kaldi earned this game. Let him get his win. Let him get his final blow.
Little flare from Kaldi here. Gonna draw an extra card. Maybe not.
This is where he misclicks and he's like, oh my gosh.
It looks like Kaldi might be trying to get Zalae here a little bit. Little gamesmanship from him here.
Yeah. Nope. Why? There's no reason to wait on this one.
Yeah. He's just stacking up the damage stat here. He's gonna let the fatigue kill him.
Why not let the fatigue kill him? Yeah, there it is. Zalae falls game 1 to Kaldi, and this is a extremely tough matchup. But Kaldi able to keep his cool, kill all the right minions, and even despite the fact that Alexstrasza and Emperor Thaurissan are near the bottom of the deck, ends up picking up the win.